What's up, y'all? It's Calvin here, and I want to give you an update on the WEF. And here recently, they have had a Sustainable Development Impact Summit. And to jump right into this article, this called "Scaling Digital Public Infrastructure Requires Full Connectivity, Interoperability, and Trust." The WEF, which is the World Economic Forum Sustainable Development Impact Summit. All right, and if we move right on down to the key themes emerging from this session, all right, and it says connectivity. A mobile phone and internet connectivity are needed for every person on the planet so that public and private entities can collect their data. I'm going to say that again. A mobile phone and internet connectivity are needed for every person on the planet so that public and private entities can collect their data, and so that citizens can access digital platforms and services. Okay, well, we can access digital platforms and services right now, you know what I'm saying? And they're trying to get all of our data. In a lot of cases, they've already got most of our data because people will just give it up. But they're trying to have it where everybody's got it so they can get everybody's data. And there's nowhere in this that I saw so far, or anything that they've ever put out, to where the people can protect themselves from the government or any institution, or, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing like that within the script. So this all goes back to tracking. They want everybody to be tracked so they can get all your information and, figure you out, you know what I'm saying? So that way, even if you're not on camera or buying something, they probably got a pretty good idea of what you're doing, all right? And this is the information war. If you see down here, it says, on the other hand, these same technologies can be used to cut off citizens from participating in certain aspects of society, like digital identities linked to domestic vaccine passports. And we've already seen the way this works. If you don't have the passport, you can't have access to whatever it is that they say you can't have access to. All right, and this is about control. It has nothing to do with healthcare or anything like that, because even if you're fully vaccinated, you can still get COVID-19. Okay, so that's the proof right there that it's not about healthcare. Okay, and something else they have is permission-based digital currencies. Okay, and if you click this link right here, and it brings up a familiar face that is in something that I spoke about during my podcast on the WEF when I was telling you about these hacking attacks and stuff like that they were running an exercise that dealt with the Russian bank, okay? And that was supposed to be a simulation, all right? Now here we have it in real life that they're talking about the same thing that they were doing during this simulation. And it's called Cyber Polygon, all right? And a feature of the money that they have is mentioned right here, all right? And it says, just imagine that you're able to give your kids some money in digital rubles and then restrict their use from the purchase of junk food, for example, all right? And now if you have the capability to do this to your child, okay, the government or whoever is handling your money, they have the ability to do it for you, okay? And they can cut you off. Like, say you're telling the truth or something like that on the internet or whatever, and they don't like the way you're talking, and you go and try to purchase a firearm, and you've got plenty of money to get the gun, but for whatever reason, you can't make that purchase, all right? And this is how this thing is going to end up working, okay? And if you come back to the World Economic Forum Summit that they are holding, you'll also see and China's social credit, all right? And this is one of the examples that they give, you know what I'm saying, of how these technologies could be used to, once again, cut off citizens from participating in certain aspects of society. And I've spoken many times about the Chinese social credit. The way it works, if you get out of line with them, they will restrict you from taking public transportation, things like jaywalking. By the time you get to the other side of the street, the fine will be extracted from your bank account. They've got videos on this whole situation. Just look up China's social credit, and this is where we're headed. Okay, and this is the big push for 6G, and everybody thought that, this was what was causing the COVID-19 problems and things of that nature. And I also spoke about that on the pod roast. And It has nothing to do with that at all. It is about tracking you, all right? Because with all of these aspects, it's all about tracking. They want everybody to have a phone, everybody be hooked up with the internet so that they can track you. And when you come to this article about the Russian bank with the rubles, where you can make adjustments to where your kids can't buy junk food, for example, one of the things that they say right out of the gate is right here, and it says this digital ruble will permit better traceability of payments and money flow. All right, and so that means that folks will know where you're getting your money from and what you're spending your money on. All right, and with the dollar, we actually had some privacy and things of that nature, because there's some things that maybe people want to buy that they don't want nobody in their business about, you know what I'm saying? And that's up to them, you know what I'm saying, like straight up and down. But that is not going to be an option moving forward. Okay, coming back to the 6G right quick, if you check out these two articles here, it says China leads the 6G charge, and we have another article that says Hawaii leads China to dominate 6G race against US and Japan. So it lets you know that they're already doing things. And as a matter of fact, China said that they launched a 6G satellite already, and this was in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so this has been around for quite some time, but they're just trying to figure out, or excuse me, they are just really starting to figure out about 5G and the pros and cons and the stuff like that, and they are already starting on 6G. So when you hear stuff like that, you know that they're spitting drag, because if they didn't know everything that they needed to know about 5G, then they wouldn't have moved on to 6G. You know what I mean? Like, these people don't waste any movements. But I just wanted to slide that in there real quick, you know what I'm saying, just to show you the way that these people be talking. You know what I mean? They are far beyond 6G technology and things of that nature. This is just what's being shown to us. Please believe it. And with the language that they use, if you see here on 6G statistics and facts, that you can click on in the articles that I have listed here for 6G, once you come down here to the use cases, it says is that the advancement of machine-to-machine communications is a common thread across the current discussion of 6G. And what that is it also has something to do with the AI as far as the workforce, but that machine-to-machine communication is very simply put as like, if you stay in a neighborhood where there's a bunch of Ring cameras, all right, the people that work at Ring, they can extrapolate each one of those feeds and put them all together and make it look like one seamless thread, all right? And that would be the same way that you would be followed and tracked everywhere that you went once the 6G was fully established worldwide. Like, there's nothing that you could do. And even if there were places that didn't have cameras, if you made a purchase, like, they would know your location, who you are, and probably what you're gonna do with what you buy, because they're able to get your data, which is all your info. And you know what I'm saying, people could peg you and like just nail you down. And when you put this kind of information in a wicked person's hand, something bad is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It isn't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And we are dealing with a whole host of wicked people. And just read some of the horror stories that's coming out of China, because that's what they want this thing to, man, where they can just track you like that, you know what I mean? And it requires a lot of these machines to communicate with each other, you know what I'm saying, from one camera system to the next, to a drone system, to a robot gun, you know what I'm saying, with these dogs running around here, these robot dogs, like all of this stuff is a tying in. And with the void that is being left by, in some cases, pay, and then also with the COVID-19 vaccine mandates, that has created a void in the workspace, which is going to open up the door to AI with this technology. So like, everything is working together, and this is why I tell you guys that there's no wasted movements, all right? And when it comes to the World Economic Forum, they are worth paying attention to, okay? They also ran Event 201, and that was the current pandemic that we're in right now, okay? And all it is just practice before they do the real thing, man. So hopefully this will bring a little bit of clarity to you guys about the whole situation and what these folks are planning to do. And these folks are the world governments, the Western power governments, the EU, the US government, the Israeli government, you know what I'm saying, Turkish government, so on and so forth, the Western powers, the Roman Empire as we know it, okay? So This is why I encourage you guys to be as self-sufficient as you possibly can at whatever financial level that you're at. You see how I'm getting down as far as me growing my food. You see my little solar panel and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it, there's plenty of people out there that can afford a whole lot better. You know what I'm saying? It's just they haven't taken the time to set up any kind of plan. You know what I'm saying? And like that's the key. It doesn't matter where you're at, as long as you have a plan. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to have something in place that is going to, give you time to think. You know what I'm saying? Because the thinking man is going to win. You know what I mean? I've told you guys the scripture before. Knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy time. You know what I mean? And we're in that time. And, there's so much to say about that. But when it pertains to this situation with the currency and things of that nature, being able to feed yourself will be very key. So if you have not started growing your food, that is a solution to this problem, okay? Because if somebody else can shut you down because you jaywalked or something like that, and now your funds are ate up because you jaywalked 50 times last week, you're gonna have to have something going for yourself. Whether you got the barter system with somebody that does grow food, work something out like that. Otherwise, you are going to be out here masked up robbing somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because your kid is hungry. And like that's how it unfortunately works out most of the time. It's like people don't really be meaning no harm, but it just works out the way because they didn't have a plan in place. So hopefully these repetitive words are hitting you with righteous cognitive dissonance, so I can brainwash you with righteousness, because it's no different. You know what I mean? On the righteous side, we just got to keep beating the drum, telling the truth, the same truth, and nothing but the truth. And our adversaries and enemies are going to continually plot with cunning and craftiness and do what they do and operate in the darkness. So we just have to keep the constant steady light, and that's just what it is. This is the Power Roast. Shine, sweet freedom, shine your light on me.